There are some people, and you might be among them, who have many interests and would like to pursue different careers, but don't have the courage or don't know whether or not it is possible. And that is the reason why I wanted to start this series, sharing about the experiences of famous but also normal people who are pursuing more than one career. And I hope that by watching these videos, you might feel inspired in case you have multiple interests that you want to pursue in a professional setting, to also pursue multiple careers. This is the second episode of my series, and today I want to talk about a person whose name is Bob Childs. He is not only a violin maker, but at the same time also a clinical psychologist and teacher.
This master wood carver turned his talent for making furniture into creating musical magic.
I didn't quit my day job right away. I kept working in the daytime making furniture, but then ultimately did 6 years of apprenticeship with two people who were trained in Mittenwald, Germany, and ultimately opened up my own shop.
He is someone who has a career called concurrent multiple careers, or meaning that he is pursuing several careers at the same time. By the way, in case you're new to this channel, I make videos on career change and multiple careers. So if you are someone who is interested in pursuing more than one career and you want to shape the kind of career that is customized and suits your life, then this channel is for you. And in that case, you might want to subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the little alarm bell. I always found these kind of people, like Bob Childs, for example, extremely interesting. And the reason is perhaps because I personally can really understand the feeling of having multiple interests and wanting to pursue several things in a professional setting instead of just following one traditional career path. And I believe that actually there are plenty of people out there who want to do the same thing. They don't just want to be stuck in that one career for their entire life, but they want to do different things. But they don't want to do it just as a hobby, and also don't want to go about it in a scattered way. What they want to do is to be active in a particular field, or in this case maybe two fields, where they actually achieve something that is meaningful to them, but at the same time also contribute to the lives of other people. And here's a question for you. Have you been thinking about changing careers or taking up a second career? Please let me know in the comments below. I myself always had diverse interests, and over the course of my life, I've been trying to find ways of how I can pursue these different things as a career. And I wanted to find out how other people who were already successful at pursuing multiple careers were doing it. I'm really curious to know how these people got there in the first place, and also how they could manage to pursue two careers at the same time successfully, and in the end also how they were able to benefit from this kind of arrangement. I want to share with you an article on Bob Childs' journey from CNN. It's from the year 2004. It's been a while, but nevertheless, I think that it is still highly relevant, especially nowadays where more and more people want to try and carve out their own career path instead of sticking to one. Childs is in his workshop only 30 hours a week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, he unties his apron, changes out of his jeans, and descends a flight of stairs to a book-lined study, the office of Dr. Robert M. Childs, clinical psychologist. While Childs has been making violins since his 20s, it wasn't until he was well into his 40s that he became a practicing therapist, specializing in patients who are artists. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, then please give it a thumbs up. That would really mean a lot to me. I think it's really interesting here to see that Bob Childs only started his second career as a clinical psychologist in his 40s. At an age where many people think that it's too late to start a new career. I mean, I even hear a lot of people in their 20s think that it's too late to switch careers or to switch majors and so on. It came down to a choice about how he wanted to live, he says, especially as he got older. The deeper he was drawn into what he calls the mystery of what makes an instrument sound good, the more isolated he felt, planning and sanding at his bench alone for days on end. For Childs, concentration required solitude. There was no way around it, and that really bothered me, he said. I wanted to figure out something I could do that involved working with other people. So here we see an example about a person who is trying to balance out his different psychological needs by pursuing two different careers. At first, you might say by dividing your time between two things, you might not be able to be the best at each of them. But I think it's exactly the other way around. As long as you are able to manage your time well, meaning if it's time to do that one thing, for example, in his case, making violins, he concentrates 100% on that. And on the days where he's working in his clinic, he's 100% focused on that. He would be able to benefit from this kind of combination. As you heard in this example, when Bob Childs was making violins, sometimes he would feel really isolated and alone. And I can imagine if you would do that 100% of your time, let's say 40, 50 hours per week, and even in your free time, only concentrate on that. That might not be for everyone. So by taking up the second profession, the second career as a clinical psychologist, he was able to get the interaction he needed and the need to be able to contribute and help other people through the second career. And at the same time, his work as a clinical psychologist was also able to benefit from his work as a violin maker, because he has this deep understanding of music and instruments that maybe other clinical psychologists don't have. He was able to give an added benefit to his clients who were artists. He also says that making violins, making instruments, gave him the opportunity to express a voice that he could otherwise not do.
And what I came to realize is that making instruments for me actually is giving me an opportunity to give a voice to part of my experience. And that dream really brought it home to me, that it's giving me an opportunity to create a voice or a vehicle for maybe parts of my experience that don't necessarily have language or, can be expressed in other ways.
The kind of career that Bob Childs has is also called slash careers or portfolio careers. And I'm not saying here that it's necessarily a good idea to just combine any kind of career, because you really have to see on a case-by-case basis whether it makes sense or not. While the two careers don't have to 100% complement each other, at least they shouldn't be in conflict. There are many examples that work out well. For example, a yoga teacher who is also a children's book author, or a marketing manager who is also a cafe owner on the side, a doctor who is also a wedding photographer, and many other different combinations. In short, two of the things that you need to consider when you think about taking up a second career and pursuing multiple careers is about the time investment and the energy, because those are the most limited resources, I would say. You'll have to think at what level you want to perform in each of your careers, and then think if it's possible to combine those two careers from a time management perspective, but also whether or not you think that you will have the energy to work on both. You'll also need to think about the timing, which means that it's quite unlikely that you'll start two careers at once at the same time. What most people would do is start one career and get a foothold there, and then on the side developed a second career. Even for Bob Childs, it took him a long time until he built up his second career. In 1988, Childs moved to Cambridge and opened his own shop. He enrolled in a master's program at Harvard and later transferred to the Massachusetts School of Professional Psychology, where after 8 years of part-time study, he graduated with a Doctor of Psychology degree in 1998. As his practice has grown, so has his reputation as violin maker. So you see from this example that it didn't happen all at once. He was already very intensively working on making violins, and then on the side he started slow by taking a part-time program. So you see, he was willing to invest that much time, 8 years, in order to get his psychology degree. Pursuing multiple careers takes a lot of courage, but also a lot of patience. But believe me, if you know for sure that this is something that you want for your life, this is the kind of career that you want, then all the hard work and the time and patience is going to be worth it. Anyone who wants to pursue multiple things in a professional setting can have multiple careers. And it's all a matter of prioritization, time management, and mindset. So if you are someone who is really keen on pursuing pursuing multiple careers, or perhaps even just changing your career to a different field or profession, then here in my channel you will find tons of videos that I have posted already and that I will upload in future that are relevant to that topic and that I hope will help you in your quest. So in case you haven't subscribed yet, then don't forget to subscribe. I hope this video was useful to you. Please share it with your friends who you think might benefit from it. As always, I thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day, all the best with your career, and I hope to see you again soon.